go here.
Yesterday I did Gucci, and today Fendi, so
it's hot.
Hello, lover. It's Nikki Jensen.
And Brie Piccone.
And we're Late to the Party, a podcast about film, fashion, and pop culture from two best friends mentally at Carrie Bradshaw's brownstone in New York City.
What a beautiful house.
Dude, I love Carrie Bradshaw's apartment.
It's so cute.
It is.
I love the idea of a brownstone in general.
Yes.
What dream.
We've been by Carrie Bradshaw's brownstone.
We have?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember this when we took the first trip, like, together, our first.
I feel like we've been by it multiple times, and every time it's like the typical, I know they have the thing blocking off pictures, but there's just like random girls, standing in front of it, trying to take pictures as much as they can.
Yeah, that's like an unlocked memory. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like a New York staple. When you visit New York, I feel like for me at least, I've never sought out Carrie Bradshaw's brownstone. I've always just stumbled upon it.
Just like that. You just stumbled upon.
And just like that. So yeah, today we are talking about Sex and the City. We're talking about the series, the movies.
The whole shebang.
And just like that.
Yeah.
In honor of Sex and the City's 25th anniversary and the season 2 premiere of And Just Like That. But let's start with the series.
Okay.
So Sex and the City, we've done an episode before.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your relationship with Sex and the City in general?
So I was pretty late to the game with Sex and the City. I don't know if it was during the pandemic or around that time, maybe a year before or something. I was binging Sex and the City. I think maybe you and I started watching the series, and then I think on my own I watched a lot more episodes because I was like, oh, I've never given this show a chance. I don't know why. But, as I've said before, I didn't grow up with cable, which is probably part of why I was late. But there's really no excuse in this day and age with all the streaming services. So I kind of went on my own rabbit hole, really enjoyed the series. I found out I'm a Miranda. At least I think so. I feel like, sometimes Charlotte's relatable, though.
You're definitely a Miranda. But, okay, don't take this the wrong way, Brie. You're not
Samantha.
Series.
No.
And Samantha. You're not series Miranda.
Yeah.
Well, you are, but, you're, later Miranda.
Mm-hmm. A more developed Miranda?
A more developed Miranda. But also, you're very in just like that, Miranda. For better or for worse. I remember when it came out last year, I watched In Just Like That, and you did not. And I was the whole time I was like, Brie, this Che Diaz of it all, I could see you going down this path.
And I was like, no way. But I see it now. Now that I've watched In Just Like That, I see it. But everyone loves Che.
Everyone loves Che.
I mean, Che is captivating. I sound like Miranda. I'm in the crowd. I'm like, woo! I didn't think I would be either. I'm really surprised.
Let's put a pin in, but that's hilarious. I knew this was going to happen, but it's also wild to me. Che Diaz is an enigma.
Yeah, for sure.
So you identify as a Miranda?
Definitely. Just the way she her opinions on things, how she's just I'm not traditional. I don't want these traditional things. I don't know. She's really independent. Just kind of funny, quirky. I don't know.
Do you have any rising? Who's your rising and who's your moon?
That is hard. Maybe a rising. I don't know. I don't know.
You're a rising Miranda and moon Miranda.
No, I do think I'm a bit Charlotte because Charlotte, they're kind of opposites in a way because Charlotte is so guarded in a way. She's so in her shell. And very proper and kind of I have a feeling that she had a sheltered upbringing. She just gives me that vibe. She's
waspy.
Yeah. Well, I don't consider myself waspy. I think there's just certain things that like maybe in my childhood, you know, like growing up and having to be prim and proper, like certain things trickle over, or like being like, oh my God, no, I would never do that. That's, you know, like, like being naked in a sauna, you know, like things like that. Like, you know, where she has like her, how do you just like, she's like a prude.
She's a little prude. Well, and see, I didn't know this side. I know we've like known each other pretty much all of our lives.
Yeah.
But I didn't know until we watched Showgirls a couple months back, your prudish side.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, because like I remember we watched it with a group of friends and I was like, boobies, boobies. And you were like, oh.
Well, we were in a group of friends as well. Well, you know what I mean? And they were also guy. I don't know. It's a little awkward.
Gotcha.
But on the inside, I felt like Miranda. I was like, whoa, boobies? Whoa. Anyway, I feel like that would wake someone up into queerness if they weren't already.
Showgirls?
Yeah. Just saying.
I feel like Showgirls is so over the top. It would turn you gay and then make you straight again. I know that's not how it works. But to use Sex and the City's problematic views about gay people sometimes, I'm going to say that.
That's exactly how it works. Yeah.
Which, who am I? I feel like people would say I'm a Charlotte just by looking at me, but I'm not.
You're not very, I think you might have like a little bit of Charlotte, but not like a lot, like a tiny slice. But I would say you're definitely Carrie, but you're like a Samantha rising.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more, I think sensibility wise,
maybe a bit
like Miranda.
her work ethic a bit, like, you know, she's kind of a workaholic.
Yeah.
But she has that, like, I'm a strong woman thing going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm an independent woman. Don't mess with me.
Which we should all be Mirandas. I feel like there is that element to which Carrie has too.
Yeah.
But I feel like she falls into traps, kind of like me, about like gender roles or prudishness. I feel like Carrie is like the female anti-hero in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But she's also... It's very interesting, and I think this is why a lot of people gravitate towards Sex and the City and why Carrie Bradshaw is such an icon. It's like her fashion's immaculate, but also her as a character. It's like, and all these women are very nuanced. Like, yes. I'm a ride or die, like Samantha Jones stan, and I want to grow up to be Samantha Jones.
Same. I want to be. I'm definitely not Samantha Jones, but I can really respect her, and
I'm working towards.
Yeah, I'm working towards that. We all want to be Samantha, like,
for sure.
She's the most free, I would say.
She is free, and yeah, she's the one that actually, like, I feel like a lot of these characters, especially Carrie, which I can admit this is like one of my things that's not very good. She's very self-centered. Samantha Jones has great boundaries.
She does.
But very giving.
Even Kim Cattrall, I would say, has strong boundaries, but is giving.
Yes. Well, we're going to totally get into it because I feel like you have to.
You have to, yeah.
But there's just so much. There's 25 years to unpack.
That is so wild. It's you don't often see like a show that lasts that long or like has that impact. Like,
it's still like, I know the first season is kind of hit or miss because they're doing that thing where they talk to the camera.
Oh yeah, that's so funny watching those episodes, but I like it. I like it as, isn't that the first episode they do that?
Yes. Well, it starts with that like British girl who falls in love with the guy. We don't get to see Carrie Bradshaw without a voiceover until like halfway through the episode.
But it does establish things, at least, I think.
100%.
It piques my interest. When someone looks directly at the camera and speaks to me, I'm like...
Yes. Yeah. Does the Robert De Niro and Meet the Parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. It gets your attention.
It does.
Well, also, I think, despite like the little things that give a timestamp on it, Sex and the City, the series, even the movies, just everything is timeless.
I agree. I mean, it's a lot of the same. Like, issues that, to tackle. Just going, finding the right person, being in your 20s,
Your
figuring things
30s.
out, 30s.
Yeah, which these women are in their 30s, so that's like,
Oh, do they start in their 30s?
Yeah.
I thought it was like late 20s. Oh, my
30s.
bad. 30s. But they're not already married or anything, right?
nope, they're single women in the city, and
Yeah.
if they want to find love, like Carrie is definitely like a sex columnist or relationship columnist, but she's also like a sex and relationship anthropologist in a way.
Yeah.
It definitely spawned a lot of delusional girls to like want to move to New York City and
Start writing about it.
start writing. I feel like Carrie Bradshaw is like the inventor of the blogger.
Yeah, for sure.
But this like TV show is so seminal in my life, but also in so many women's lives.
It's based on like a real person too, right? She did have a column titled
Candace
Sex and the City.
Bushnell.
Yeah.
In a book.
So cool.
But Candace Bushnell, it's fascinating. Like her whole story. I mean, basically, like as soon as she arrived in New York City, she was like an it girl going to Studio 54 and
What a suit. That's like the dream, Nick. Isn't that your dream too? Like just
yeah.
stepping out.
for sure.
Studio 54.
For sure.
Living
Candace
it up.
Bushnell like really did live the Carrie Bradshaw and beyond.
I'm so jelly.
Me too. But yeah, so the series Sex and the City ran from June 6th, 1998 to February 22nd, 2004.
Wow.
But just that short amount of time, like, spawned off to, I don't know, it's just crazy how Sex and the City is really just, it's, how do I word it? It's such a big deal in such
It is a big deal.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like informed a lot of like, 20 something cult. I don't know. It's hard to describe because it really has like in fashion, it changed the way like our lexicon of like knowing designers and like it opened those doors.
Yeah.
But then also talking about sex, like I had no clue how revolutionary the series was in its frankness towards talking about sex.
I didn't know that either, because I think a lot of things that followed, like they're not afraid to go there. Like a lot of TV shows, it's just like, oh, whatever. But I guess it broke some boundaries at the time,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
It is so cool. And I feel like we're, not to flex, like we're so young because we're, but I think in our lifetime, because of Sex and the City,
Mm-hmm.
we've had shows that are inspired by Sex and the City. So we don't, like, I can't think before Sex and the City as far as like portraying just like single women talking about sex.
Right.
Because before 1998,
You didn't have that.
I did well, and also before 1998, what was I watching? The Teletubbies? Like,
Probably, yeah.
I mean, even in 1998, I was watching the Teletubbies, so
Yeah, you were watching Sex and the City, the Teletubbies.
The Sopranos, all the things that like toddlers listen to.
That have shaped you.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, and the fashion too, right? The way that they just never repeated an outfit.
Yeah. Well, Patricia Field, like her impact.
Right, they had someone else doing the first, like the pilot or the first couple episodes, right? And it was
Yeah.
not it. I heard it like they were like,
No,
or, like
it-
Sarah Jessica Parker. I forget that she produced the original Sex and the City, right?
She's the executive producer, like throughout. Also Sarah Jessica Parker, they filmed the pilot episode in 97,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a one-off, like back in the day where they didn't like order series all the time.
Yeah.
So this was a one-off pilot. Sarah Jessica Parker signed on because an agent, like her agent was like, you'd be great for this role, blah, blah, blah. We've seen you. And, because like 96 was a huge year for Sarah Jessica Parker. Like First Wives Club, Mars Attack,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been, an actor since she was a kid with like Girls Just Want to Have Fun and like Square Pegs. So she was gaining this like buzz.
Momentum.
Yeah. And Sarah Jessica Parker didn't think it was going to be a big deal. Like she kind of forgot that she filmed this pilot.
That's funny.
And, before they were like, it isn't like an incentive to sign on. They were like, Sarah Jessica Parker, you can be executive producer.
I mean, if someone presented you with that option, like, how could you not take it?
Right?
Having that creative, overseeing everything, and then the fashion of it all, right? Because I feel like working with Patricia Field had to be so cool. Like, I feel like she's a genius.
I feel like that too. I think like, especially like series, Carrie Bradshaw, the way Patricia Field and Sarah Jessica Parker created that character's like eclectic high and low style.
Yes.
It's like, even nowadays, like I see girls all the time with like their nameplate.
I've seen that a lot too. Yeah.
Which is, you know, Patricia Field, you know, like a downtown New York City lady, you know, she saw that on, you know, like Puerto Rican women and, you know, just like women on the street that have the nameplate. And she was like, you know, she like took that from the streets, literally.
Took it from the streets. Yeah. I think a lot of great fashion happens on the streets, and especially in New York. Like, that's kind of the point. Like,
it is. I mean, also like the tutu was like found in like a bargain bin.
Right? I love that story.
It's totally shaped my style, but I think a lot of like girls like the influence like is permeated, like a Best Dressed when she was doing YouTube.
Yeah.
And like all the girls like her, or like a Man Repeller, that are like, you know, those like thrifting girlies.
Yes.
Of like a couple years ago.
I love a good thrift. You know me.
I love a good thrift. I'm wearing all thrifted items.
Oh my God, you are. That's right. I forgot. Those pants. That was a perfect find. And I remember that top. Dang. I feel like my thrift finds are not as classy as yours. Like, you're definitely very, like, I don't want to say like picky, but like you have like an eye. Like, you definitely go for the goods. And I feel like sometimes I just get junk.
I love that too.
Yeah.
You need it all.
Maybe we can collaborate on something. I don't know.
For sure. Our thrifting channel.
Yeah, I feel like I need help.
I think instead of Best Dressed will be Worst Dressed.
Worst Dressed. Thanks to me. Sorry about
No,
it.
and to me. I'll probably be like, that's wacky.
You're like, ooh, that bargain item.
I mean, I think like a couple episodes back, because we're doing this a little out of order. So not even an episode back. Last week's episode, we talked about quiet luxury.
Yes.
And we were talking about how that style is very like lacking style, like almost the antithesis of style.
Right.
You know? And I think Carrie Bradshaw and like Patricia Field as a costume designer, as just a designer in the world, this is personal style.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you form personal style. And I'm really glad that like we had a Carrie Bradshaw or even a Patricia Field in like Devil Wears Prada. Like,
yes,
we had
style influence.
Yeah, but also like the like vocabulary, but also the like the emphasis on personal style, where we could like look to them and be like, oh my God, I love Carrie Bradshaw's high and low. Like, let me go on the Real or go and get this designer bag. But then also like, let me go thrift this like tutu and like put it with a white tank top and that play with fashion.
Yes. You're not just following a trend, but you're playing with it. Like, that's what fashion's about. That's what style's about, right? You do your own thing and you pick and choose. And if you have taste, it'll show.
Yeah.
You know, I also really love like the behind the scenes, like Patricia Field talking about the show and the process. And when she said something like, well, because Carrie has so many shoes, so many expensive shoes, Manila Blahniks, whatever, maybe, I don't know, Louis Vuitton, maybe. What else does she have? Does she have?
Shoe wise or just in general?
Shoe wise mostly. But I mean, I know she has a lot in her wardrobe in general.
She put Manila Blahniks on the map.
She did. But I love how Patricia's like, don't worry about where they're coming from. Or like, you know how there's a different, like every episode, she has different outfits. She's like, it's fun. It's fashion. Don't think about it too hard.
Yes. It's a fantasy too.
It's a fantasy. We all want to live that fantasy and have that dream closet and have all those shoes. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's living the fantasy.
Also, in like real life, you can live that fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like you're like you were saying, like that Patricia Field like motto that it's like just fashion, like just pick what you like wear what you like, you know?
Yeah.
But back to the show, it was created by Darren Star, and then later on, it was overtaken by Michael Patrick King. And you know, I thought Sally Singer, she described Sex and the City the best in my mind. She said it was about who they loved, how they loved each other, and what they wore in the process.
Yes. I love that. That's so accurate.
So let's get into it. So the main protagonist is Carrie Bradshaw, played by Sarah Jessica Parker. Thoughts on Carrie?
I love her. I feel like she's relatable. And she's, you know, we see her go through a lot. Like, mostly like these, you know, it's almost like a slice of life in a way. Sometimes these episodes, the things that happen. I feel like one of my favorite episodes is when she has this really bad day and she tries to like see on the bright side or something, and everything goes wrong. And it's just so relatable. And then she has to write about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just love too that she is a writer. And I love how she reflects. Like, there's always a message in every episode. And she's always figuring things out about herself, about relationships, about love. So it's fun just being on a journey with her, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I love, you know, I know she's a little bit problematic in today's lens, but I love Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah. In today's lens, how so?
I think a lot of people view Carrie now as a little more of a narcissist.
Oh.
A little more. She is a home wrecker.
Yeah.
You know, I think she definitely, like, because I grew up watching the like reruns of Sex and the City.
Yeah.
She did inform me probably better or for worse. Like, she's messy. And I think some people really like, especially, you know, nowadays, they really try to like box good and bad. Like, yes, it's not good to be a home wrecker, but I love that aspect about Carrie Bradshaw because she's making mistakes. You know, sometimes she's like following her heart in a bad way, but still a story out of it. She's true to herself. Yeah.
You know, and she's messy, and that's okay. I love seeing the mess. I don't know. I think that's way more relatable, to be honest. Like,
same.
I think a lot of us are way more messy than we maybe want to be, or put ourselves, like, you know, want ourselves to be, I don't know.
Like, seen.
Seen. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
But and I think Carrie, and this I relate to a lot, Carrie's like main, if you're talking the way she wants to be seen, she's on this like crusade to like be herself. Which is like an interesting thing to portray on screen.
Yeah.
So I love that. I feel like in my life, that's what I strive to be, is just more myself.
Right.
But you know, like when we talk about like probably more Miranda and Charlotte, they're striving for different things.
But Samantha's herself.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Samantha's always too in the background. Like, she's like, girl, just don't worry about this or whatever. She kind of gives good advice.
She always gives good advice.
Yeah.
Samantha, my favorite character. She's a PR lady. She's like the sexy one.
Yep, she's the sex in the city.
She's having the most sex in the city.
And loving it.
Yes.
I love her confidence. Like, I love how fully formed she is, and she knows what, like, her limits. Like, she's just like not bothered by anything. Hardly.
Yeah. But she's still nuanced. I think her, you know, my favorite storyline of Samantha's is when she gets cancer, the big C, as she calls it.
Yeah.
And she has to let like Smith Jared in a really more intimate way, and like navigating that. It's such like it's a cool thing to see on screen because like Kim Cattrall's performance is so like nuanced. and beautiful. I love that. I love when she's on top of the world too.
Yeah.
I love when she like reclaims herself after the whole Richard Wright scenario.
Love that.
I love how she hates kids.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really not afraid to say what she thinks and feels.
Yeah. She was ahead of her time too when she got the apartment in the meatpacking district. Real estate queen extraordinaire. Oh, back to Carrie. If we're talking season, like series Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
How do you fall on the loves? Are you a team Aiden? Are you a Mr. Big girl? Are you a ride or die for Burger?
I would definitely say Aiden. I feel like when I first watched this series, I was more like rooting for her and Mr. Big. But, you know, upon further reflection, watching it a second time, I would say Aiden. He's probably the better choice. Like, I don't know. He's more stable, which I feel like, I don't know. I feel like stability in relationships is good. Like, you know, like,
Yes.
but she like kind of wants this maybe excitement or like, I don't know. I feel like Mr. Big is so unpredictable and I don't know. I mean, I kind of get the appeal, but I just feel like Aiden, I think it's just also maybe, what's his name?
John Corbett.
John Corbett, yeah.
I'm a John Corbett girl. I love John Corbett.
So you're team Aiden too.
For me personally, I'm team Aiden. However, in Carrie's defense, I would not be thrilled to go to the country every weekend.
Oh.
See, I feel like there's some like things that like with Aiden, she really couldn't be herself. With Mr. Big, not too much either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, as soon as she started, she couldn't even date Aiden until she was like, I promise I'll quit smoking.
Oh, I forgot about that whole... Okay, yeah, I didn't really like that part because you can't really tell someone how to... I don't know. I mean, it's Carrie Bradshaw as well. Like, she's...
It's who she is.
Who she is. Yeah, I feel like you like it or leave it. Like...
Well, like, Aiden wasn't, like, prying and prodding about it. She was the one who was like, he's unattainable.
Oh, she was like, I gotta hide this habit or something, right? That was her. That's kind of on her, I guess.
It's always on Carrie, which is relatable, but it's always on Carrie.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mr. Big is unattainable, which Carrie loves. But then she also hates, like, in the Sex and the City movie, too. When he wants to, like... She gets what she wants. She gets Mr. Big, but Mr. Big is, like, in his 50s now, and he just wants to, like, get takeout and watch TV. And, you know, it's what she wants, but he's now too boring, you know? So... I think that's a Carrie problem.
Carrie just has... No one's good enough for Carrie. Is that what it is?
Everyone's too good and not good enough for Carrie Bradshaw, which I totally get, but I would pick Aiden.
Yeah.
Or I think, like, if Burger wasn't such a dick, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Carrie and Burger, at least on paper, that's the kind of dynamic you want. But he was such an ungrateful, like, jerk to her. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I have complicated feelings about who she should be with. I feel like there's no right or wrong answer.
No, maybe it's just timing. Like, I'm all for, and just like that season 2, Aiden returning.
Yes. Well, Mr. Big is dead. I mean, spoilers. I mean, I'm assuming everyone who's listening is probably already...
Don't get on a Peloton.
Don't. Yeah. I knew they were bad news. But I think it's crazy that they kind of kill him off really early on that series. Like, I knew it was coming because I saw spoilers.
And also those allegations against Chris Noth.
Chris Noth?
Yeah. He had some, like, I don't know, maybe, like, sexual assaulty things or just being
So they got rid of him?
They got rid of him.
Oh, maybe.
They were going to kill him off anyways.
Yeah.
But they filmed flashbacks. Like, there was Chris Noth was in Paris or something. Like, they had other things filmed, so I think they just cut him.
Wild.
They were like, you're canceled.
Dang.
You're fired. Which in Sex and the City, the series, they talk about Trump a lot. Just saying.
Yeah.
equate big to Trump. And Michael Patrick King on And Just Like That was like, you're fired.
You're fired. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I was just surprised that they got rid of him very quickly. I thought it was going to be more of a journey, but it's kind of like she gets him and then he's gone.
Such is life.
I guess. Yeah.
I think like Sex and the City, and even as a kid watching the reruns,
Yeah.
to me, it's always been the relationship between the four girls. Like, it broke my heart, and Just Like That even more that Kim Cattrall, like Samantha, wasn't returning.
Yeah, that really disappointed me.
Like, that's the bigger heartbreak for me, is like the friend group, because they're each other's soulmates.
Yeah, anytime they do like those scenes where Carrie's texting her and she doesn't respond, I'm like, ooh. But like, I get they try to keep her, like try to make sense of it, but it's not the same. And it's like, I know they've added characters, which does make it more interesting and kind of helps fill the void a bit, or like the dynamics of just, you know, there's occasions like in the original series where they're not always together. Like sometimes it's just Carrie and Miranda doing something, or sometimes it's Charlotte and Miranda and Carrie at lunch, and then Samantha joins later, you know. So there's like that dynamic a bit, but then she's always there at some point, and so it's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
well, can we just say though, Carrie Bradshaw and her real best friend is Miranda.
yeah, for sure.
They're the ones that have the most in common. Are we carrying Miranda?
We are definitely Carrie and Miranda.
But they're the ones that are actually like, they have the most in common.
Yeah.
Like philosophy wise, you know, fundamentally.
Yeah. I think they're both also figuring themselves out.
Mm-hmm. Like Samantha knows who she is, and Charlotte is on like a different journey to find out who she is.
But she does grow. Like she has some character growth, I think.
I mean, when we get to And Just Like That, Charlotte's my favorite character.
I really like her, and Just Like That. Yeah.
I mean, Kristen Davis really did take, like, I know like Charlotte was supposed to be a smaller character.
Oh.
But Kristen Davis just, who doesn't want to see her in the story? And can we talk about Charlotte?
Yeah, we haven't even talked to. Oops, sorry, Charlotte. Yeah.
Which, love her fashion as well. She's, you know, the more sophisticated, like preppy, like Ralph Lauren girl. But she, you know, was like was she an art dealer at the beginning?
I think so. It was an art dealer. Right? She worked in a museum?
Yeah, she did something with art.
Yeah. Cool job.
Very cool. When she has to quit her job because she wants to like get pregnant with Trey's babies.
Yeah. And see, this is where I check out on her character. Like, I'm like, oof, having babies?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like,
but I think it's so interesting how she knows it's a bad idea.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's that part of her, and like Samantha's like, once you get out of this world, you can't go back. There's someone younger, which she's totally right.
Yeah.
But I love that conflict. And it's also interesting to see her arguably make the wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
But she ends up getting what she wants. She ends up with Harry.
Oh, yeah, Harry. He's grown on me. At first, I wasn't sure about him, but I really like him.
I love Harry.
Yeah.
Even
though he has no hair.
Yeah. No hair. Just, I always think about that episode when they move in together at Trey McDougal's place. Still after the divorce. It is not Charlotte's place.
Yeah.
And Harry is just like naked all the time, just sitting on the white sofa, and I'm just like,
Oh, he is a hoot.
I love him.
Yeah.
Speaking of love interests though, my favorite's Steve.
I love Steve. Yes. He's really cute. He's sweet, you know? He can do anything for Miranda.
So let's just talk about Miranda then. Miranda Hobbs.
Oh.
I don't know. Miranda is the lawyer, the Harvard educated one, the redhead.
Everything I wanted to be. I mean, I didn't exactly have a lawyer fantasy growing up, but like I think just the idea of like being independent and just like, I want to handle everything on my own. I don't need your help kind of thing. I feel like that resonates with me.
For sure.
Maybe to a fault sometimes, but
Maybe. But I think she, like, I like her character a lot, but her journey is the most interesting throughout the whole thing. Just in the way that, like, she really resists so many things in her life, but then life finds a way.
Like having babies, like how she really didn't want to have one and then she has one.
And resist the love with Steve.
Yep. And then she proposes.
She proposes.
Which I love that move. I feel like I would want to do, if I were ever to get married, I want to be the one to propose. Gosh darn. I don't know. I think the idea of like the like, I like how she's not too concerned with norms.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like Steve would do anything for Miranda.
Yeah.
Like, even when he messes up, he's always sorry. And like, I love her relationship with Magda.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Or like at the end of like, I think it's season 6, like towards the end of the series, when Miranda takes in Steve's mom, who has like Alzheimer's or dementia or something.
Oh yeah.
And she's like sponge bathing her, and like it's like love, you know? Like Miranda learns to love.
Yeah, she does kind of resist the love.
In any capacity. Also, she bags Blair Underwood.
Oh yeah.
Which arguably probably the hottest dude in the series as a whole.
Actually, yeah. Like, sorry, Steve. I mean, Steve isn't really hot. He's just... No.
Sorry, John Corbett, my man.
Sorry, John Corbett.
Oh. But just, you know, objectively, Blair Underwood probably... He is the hottest man on the series.
Yeah, for sure.
No shade to Harry.
No shade. Yeah, I mean...
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan, but he's also, his storyline really takes off hot points.
Yeah.
Which, that's a big storyline with Charlotte, if we're going to circle back. What are your thoughts on the Charlotte Trey storyline?
I feel like it's so cringy and uncomfortable. Like, it's like they don't... I feel like they're both, like, looking for something, which is very good on paper, you know? So it seems to maybe match up, but it's not. Like, in reality, their chemistry level is, like, 0. And it's a lot of just trying to fit into a box, I think, and just... I don't know. And I think he's just annoying, you know? And he can't get it up, right? Isn't that the problem? Like, it's... I don't know. Which I get could be a problem for some people, but I'm sure there's things you could do.
Or it's, like, not meant to be.
It's just not meant... Yeah, just don't force it. If that's... Yeah, I don't know.
Like, not to get all woo-woo, but Charlotte does mana force a lot.
Yeah, but doesn't she gets cold feet, right?
Not necessarily. I think she's like nervous.
Yeah. But I thought she was gonna like maybe not. I don't know. Doesn't Carrie talk her into still getting, or no?
No. Okay, she goes to Carrie because they try to like, they're like having sex on there like right before they get married.
Yeah.
And that problem arises.
Right.
And Carrie's talking her down from it.
Yeah,
like,
she's
that's
like,
the
maybe
whole
it's
thing.
not a big deal.
Yeah.
Which I guess I'm not just like blaming Carrie, but I guess I'm like, maybe there was something, I don't know. Like you were saying, maybe it wasn't meant to be, I guess. Like maybe Charlotte knew, but she just still.
I think so. I think because when you find, I don't know, I think Charlotte was definitely seeing like big picture. And being like, oh, well, I want this life for myself, and this is my entryway into it. I think it was that. Also, like, in the beginning of, is it season 2 or season 3, when all this goes down, before she meets Trey, when they're coming back from, was it Staten Island, on the ferry, and she's like, this is going to be the year where I get married. So she's like, has it in her head.
She's like, yeah, like you said, manifesting.
Forcing. I think she manifests Harry, though.
Yes. It all works out the way it's supposed to.
Totally. What is your favorite season of Sex and the City?
Okay. It might be season 4. Because I feel like some of my favorite episodes are in there. I do like the first season a lot, just because I feel like it says so much. It establishes a lot of the characters and stuff. I don't know. Maybe season 4? Mostly for that episode with Samantha in the Birkin bag. Like, that just cracks me up so hard. The lengths that she goes. What about you?
I love season 3.
Season 3. Oh, that's another good one too. Is that the one with the baseball? No,
that's season 2 or season 1.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
the
it's when she
episode?
has the affair with Big.
Okay.
It's also the one where she's with she meets the guy who's like ends up on Mad Men, but he asks her to pee on him.
Oh.
That's that one. Oh yeah, this is the one. The season 3 is when she tries to quit smoking with Aiden and Charlotte with the lousy kisser when Miranda thinks or when she discovers she has a STD.
Oh yeah.
That season.
All the drama.
True. But I also love a lot of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love like when they all go to the Hamptons.
Yes.
One of my favorite episodes.
So good. Yeah, like the first few seasons are really good. I don't know.
I think continuously the series is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it all the way through, to be honest.
I know. I love that one episode. It's in season 6 where they're at that party. Splat, yes.
This party's so boring I could die.
Yeah, and then she just falls off the balcony. Or is it a window?
It's out a window.
It's a window, right? That's so...
She's like,
So
I gotta get some air in here because no one smokes anymore.
That actress, I love that actress too, by the way. Like, she just cracks me up. Is it Kristen Johnson? Yeah.
Remember your Third Rock from the Sun phase?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I watched that show back, like, when it was on air. Anyway. Yeah, that episode gets me. That one in the baby shower from, like, the first season.
Oh, I love that when they're like the bitches of Eastwick.
Uh-huh.
And everyone doesn't know how to drive a car. And not Miranda. Samantha's like, BYOB.
Yeah, they are so out of place at this baby shower. It's so funny.
I have been there.
I've never been to a baby shower. I don't know. I mean, maybe... I don't know if I ever will. We'll see.
I mean, not me. Count me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always like, every time I've gone to a baby shower, I've been like, why am I here?
That's funny. That's so interesting, though, the dynamic with the girls. Like, I feel like all of them, except for Charlotte, are really like they do not have baby fever, you know? And I can't really, I'm sorry, I can't relate to people that do. I don't know.
It's so, and I know dynamics are different because these women are in their 30s, but I feel like even us in our 20s,
Yeah.
they're like, there's like two paths that diverge in the woods because there's like people that are very, like, I think Sex and the City, this is also why I think it's so relatable with people our age.
Mm-hmm.
There's like the paths you go down.
Right.
So like we're age-wise, we're old, like we're that zillennial age.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like we could, depending on our lifestyle, because we're either young millennials or like old, like elder Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
In that age bracket. And I feel like we know people that have been like, no, I'm a millennial. I'm gonna like be really into Harry Potter and having babies and going to Disney World, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like the other group of people that are like usually live in bigger cities or like the part like single or, you know, like people like us that have subscribed to a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I feel like it's like this working girl idea, you know? It's kind of like in Romy and Michelle.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe. Like it's going against, well, I don't know if it's still going against the grain because I feel like a lot of people are probably career oriented and you can probably do both. Like there's women who have babies and run a business and stuff. But I don't know.
I think so, but I think like especially in our generation, like you hard choose.
Yeah.
You're like, are you going to be this person? Or are you going to be that person?
Right. You're right. There's not much in between.
It falls in a generation gap too, which is why I feel like Sex and the City with people our age hits.
Yeah. It makes sense. I don't know. I feel like the women are relatable for sure.
Yeah. And the women give us permission to like be like, you don't have to be a freak for not wanting kids or for being single or for not knowing what you want about everything all the time, and you can be messy and you can be yourself. You don't have to fall into these like binaries or paths. I feel like Sex and the City for young women, it really is like a thing to like look up to and be like, yeah,
I agree. I think that's a great way to put it. Like falling into certain paths or like we don't have to.
Yeah.
Let our freak flags fly. Let us be messy.
Single and fabulous! Exclamation point.
Yes. Exclamation point.
Which, like, yes, I am engaged, but so I don't want to say this. Like, but you know,
I'm
like,
also not single, but
you know, like single on when you fill your forms out.
Yeah,
you check single. You know.
Yeah, and most importantly, fabulous
and fabulous! Exclamation point. That's what you put right by when you check single.
You write it in
and fabulous.
No question point. There's no question mark there.
No. Yeah. So the series ends in 2004.
We get some movies.
Starting in 2008. Yep. The Sex and the City movie is a hit.
Yeah. Commercially, yes.
Yeah, commercially. And, you know, I don't think it did that bad critically, especially in comparison to the second one.
I thought you said the second one was better. Or to you?
To me, a hot take. That's a real hot take.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the first Sex and the City movie does give really great fashion.
It does. Yes. And a great soundtrack.
Oh my God, Labels Are Love by Fergie?
Yeah, I remember that being like huge for a while.
To me, yes. I used to listen to that soundtrack all the time.
Same. I don't even think I saw the Sex and the City movie, but I listened to the soundtrack.
I feel like I saw the Sex and the City movie on E when I came like to TV. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Sex and the City movies?
I mean, I think it's a great idea. You know, but in practice, I don't know. Like, because we recently watched the first one again. And it was just, I didn't really like it. Like, I didn't hate it. It was still fun, but I didn't really like where it was going. Or, like, I don't think it really, it just made me mad. It created drama for no reason, you know. And I don't know, maybe we'll get into it on its own sometime. But
we will, for sure. We have that kind of in the queue.
Yeah. So I just don't know if I liked where they were going with Carrie or Carrie and Big. Like, it just didn't make sense to me that, like I get that there has to be drama, but it just felt manufactured. And then, like, the editing was, like, so over the top sometimes, like, when things would be in, like, slow motion, like, when her, it's not a slipper that falls, but she drops it, like, something. What does she drop? Her cell phone. Her flip phone. It's, like, a very dramatic, it is funny, but it's not meant to be funny. You know what I mean? It's, like, not that Sex and the City is super serious, but I feel like it didn't necessarily do the gals justice. You know, they make Charlotte poop her pants, which is also funny.
That is the best part of that movie, to be honest.
I feel like the plot could have been better. And that's my critique. Like, it could have, I just don't know, because it's supposed to, follow the girls after 4 years, right? So, but I just don't know. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I am in the quiet minority. I like, for what they are, which is, it's not the series. It is more fantastical. It's more, you know, it's just a different vibe.
Yeah. It's
like on a different scale. But for what they are, I like the movies. I like the first one. I love her Vogue moment. I love that Vivienne Westwood gown. I love, you know, Big probably would leave her at the altar. I love the ending message of you got to do things your way and not play by anyone's timelines. I love, in the second one, them being very problematic going to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
I love the Stanford and Anthony, Liza Minnelli singing Single Ladies Wedding because it's so, like, bizarre. They're fun. I don't know. I like them. Good soundtrack. They're dramatic. for what they are, I like them, especially now that we're in a time where like And Just Like That is like the new series, the movies. I don't know, kind of hit.
I see what you're saying. I guess I forgot about at the end, they kind of come back. They're like, oh, we don't have to follow a timeline. I do enjoy that aspect. Maybe it was also Miranda and Steve. They had something going on. Like that
Steve cheats on her.
Oh, yeah. That, I don't know. Well, maybe that would happen. I don't know. That just seemed, it seemed like they just had to add some drama.
I guess, but like also like Miranda like won't put out anymore. Like Miranda kind of, she's always doing Steve dirty. I know we're about to get into And Just Like That.
It's interesting, yeah, because we have watched, like, it's interesting watching one of the movies now after watching And Just Like That, because some things kind of make sense Miranda wise. I feel like I start maybe disliking Miranda, or like in this movie, I'm not really rooting for her. Like I'm like, you know, but I don't know if it's also because of like And Just Like That, because I know where things, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. I don't know. She's kind of resentful of her life. She's kind of like Shrek.
A little bit.
You know, like that, you know, Shrek the Third.
She really is. Or like Shrek Forever After, where she has to like, is Che Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah. She's like, I just want to go back to my swamp. I don't know.
Which, I don't know. I feel like if we're going to talk about like that storyline in the first Sex and the City movie, Steve was very sorry to Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was very apologetic.
What about once a cheater, always a cheater?
But like he proves that he's not.
Yeah.
And then Miranda does something worse, pretty much.
You mean in
Just Like That?
Yeah, she definitely. Yeah. I mean, even Che is like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. I think even throughout the series, my problem with Miranda is she does get a little more unlikable, because she does have such a chip on her shoulder all the way through.
But Nikki, you said I'm like Miranda. Like,
but there's no Steve in your life right now, Brie. If you were just in the way that she treats Steve.
Oh, okay.
Like, she really does treat him like, no matter what, he's always going to come back to her.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she doesn't treat him like the gem that he is.
Yeah.
Because Steve is a catch.
He is.
And I feel like at first in the series, she's like all on him about not having like a good enough job because he works at the bar. But then he ends up like co-owning the bar with Aiden.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot him and Aiden. Yeah, that's right.
And like, I don't know. I feel like no one in this series, in the movies, ever gives Steve his like flowers. I know it's not about Steve.
For Steve.
Yeah, it's like Steve does everything right. And yes, he has one slip up.
Yeah.
And then Miranda cuts him off.
But they did have like at least 6 months of whatever. Like something was off, right? And no one really addressed it. She's like, oh, he already knows or something, right? Or no, that's in Just Like That. I get it confused. Yeah. I get it confused. But I mean, if you have problems, shouldn't you address them? Like, isn't that part of being in a relationship? Or like, especially if you're married, like you would think, and you have a kid, like it's like really, you can't just check out, you know? I mean, she kind of checks out.
But I think Miranda like feels like it's such an interesting character because she does seem to like just periodically check out, like from the series to the movies to And Just Like That.
But she's made these choices. She's made these beds. That, you know what I mean? Like she decided to have a kid. She decided to propose to Steve. Those were her choices.
She just, yeah. But she also, let's go to And Just Like That. When did And Just Like That premiere?
Recently-ish. In the past couple years. What year? I don't know.
I think it was oh my God, December 2021. Oh yeah, that's right, because that's when we had our first Sex and the City episode.
Oh yeah.
And Just Like That is a very interesting, it's polarizing, I feel.
Yeah.
So right away, we know Kim Cattrall's not going to return to Samantha because they had the whole script for Sex and the City 3 about 2016 that Kim Cattrall was like, no. enough.
Yeah, I'm not doing her again, right? Isn't that what she said?
Yeah, you're not paying me enough. Me and Sarah Jessica Parker have this contentious relationship, which, like, I totally get. And Kim Cattrall, like, knows her worth.
Yeah.
She's a scatter extraordinaire who knows her worth.
Yep.
So it's just going to be the 3 girls. And they bring in a variety of other characters.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Aunt Just Like That? I
mean, I was skeptical at first, and I wasn't sure I would really enjoy it, especially with Samantha being gone. But I like it. I don't know. I've enjoyed it. It's an interesting journey. You know, they're all kind of older now. So where do you go? Like, well, you know, what else? What happens? You know? What happens when you're older? I don't know. It's
so crazy though, Brie.
Yeah.
Okay, and Just Like That, which is a spinoff of Sex and the City.
Uh-huh.
The Golden Girls.
Yes.
Same age.
Wait. Back it up. Did you say the Golden Girls are the same age as they are in Sex and the City?
Pretty much, like in their 50s, besides Sophia.
I thought they were like 60s or 70s. No? Is it just the hairdos?
I think it's just the hairdos.
Like that's how what hair was like back then.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
But like, the Golden Girls have more sex than in Aunt Just Like That.
They do? You're right.
Yeah, there's no
Dorothy?
sex in the city. Even Dorothy gets it.
She does get it a few times. Sophia's really getting it. She's the Samantha of them all. No.
Not Blanche.
Blanche is. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
But even Rose, I mean, that's how her first husband dies.
Rose, yeah. She'd be putting men
oh my God.
The ground.
Carrie Bradshaw, that's how Big dies.
Yeah.
That would have been better than a Peloton. Just have like the Rose and Golden Girls plot for Carrie, and then in a voiceover, it's Carrie being like, and just like that, there was no more Sex in the City.
Series over. Just fades to black.
And then it's like, and just like that, it's a new series.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm trying to think who has sex other than that crazy scene with Miranda and Che, which is like, whoa.
And Charlotte.
Oh yeah, Charlotte's having sex. She's the only one. Samantha would be if she was around.
I know.
I'm sure she's having ton in Paris.
Oh, for sure. Only.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's more about just life, I guess.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like one of those people that like I hate Aunt Just Like That.
Yeah.
It was definitely too many like rotating characters, too much like performative wokeness.
Yeah, I feel like they do try to be PC a lot, or to like make up for a lack of diversity, you know?
Which is also like chill. Like with the diversity thing, like the more you say or the more you try to like shoehorn certain characters in to try to be like, and we're diverse.
Like Che, who's like everything.
Well, Che is a different figure in general. But I feel like because you have Seema, who's like in Samantha's shoes, essentially, which I love Seema.
Yes.
But then there's Nia Wallace, which I would rather Miranda's love interest be, but whatever.
They had chemistry at the beginning.
She's gorgeous. I don't know.
She doesn't. She also. See, it would make sense because she doesn't want to have a baby. You know, like there's like that. You know, maybe she's gay. That's what I'm realizing. If you don't want to have a baby, you might be gay. That's what I'm learning. Anyway, I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm just saying Miranda.
Carrie Bradshaw doesn't want a baby either, or Samantha.
All gay. No, I'm just kidding. That's
Happy
not
Pride.
it. But you know,
you just spin around in your chair and that Target shirt that says "Live, Laugh, Lesbian" just appears.
Or the jumpsuit that just says "gay" on the back in giant letters. I don't know. Target's Pride collection this year is very interesting, is all I gotta say.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's like maybe that's not necessarily like the best feedback if you're
It's
like,
not. No.
what do you think of the Pride collection? I'm like, it's wild. It's hilarious.
But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just specific with Miranda that I'm just like, oh. Because I feel like she signs up for a life that she maybe doesn't want. Like, she doesn't necessarily want to like, she said she might want to have kids someday, but she decides to have a baby and get married. I don't know. Like, it's just interesting.
Well, I think, and just like that, my whole problem with Miranda is she's kind of unreasonably cruel in a way that she's like, I never wanted Brady. And he's like a tool. Like, he's like almost an adult. And you're like, you can't
undo. Like, yeah, she's kind of shitty in this series. Like, it's I don't know. I'm like, ooh. Like, yeah, you can't just like be that ungrateful for your kid. Like, I get it, but like still, like, you're also enabling, like, you're also the parent, so you're putting these rules, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of things are on you. If you raised your kid a certain way, you don't like it, well, that's on you.
It's also like, you just can't be like, I don't like my kid. Like, that's harsh.
Or you're like, I don't know. Like, I feel like she's very selfish. Maybe she was not selfish enough at a certain point, and that's the lesson. I don't know, really.
I don't know. I hope she comes back around. Not from the trailer. I feel like Che is like such a fuckboy.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm also kind of mad at Miranda for like deciding to go. Like, I get getting swept in romance and stuff and like wanting to go to California. Like, it's exciting, it's an adventure. But then she doesn't go with Carrie to like scatter Big's ashes, which I feel like is kind of wrong because they haven't even been together that long. And Che would understand. I feel like Che would be like, you know what?
I don't feel like Che cares.
Che doesn't care. Che's just, the way that they announced that they're going to California was like at this part. It wasn't like, hey, Miranda, let me let you know a one-on-one. You know, like, I felt like she had a reason to kind of be upset a bit, just like a little bit of like she was a little surprised.
Well, that parallels to the series when Carrie and the Russian go to Paris.
Yeah, true.
Except
she has a break. She's like, no, like, well, you know, she's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
but this is like a reverse. And Carrie's like, don't worry about it, you know. And then she goes to Paris. Like, it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like she should be there for her friend. Like, I think that's the more important thing to me.
No, I feel like that is.
Yeah, I just feel like Miranda gets a little selfish. I don't know.
Which I get, like, if you haven't had, like, these feelings in a long time.
And Steve, I feel like he's just old. That's what they're trying. Like, he's got his hearing aids, and she's just annoyed that he's old, I guess.
But that's also really shitty. Like,
yeah,
he's not old. He's not older to her. He has a problem hearing. That's kind of cruel too.
And all he wants to do is eat desserts every night. Is that so wrong?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just not compatible, but I feel like the way they go about it, like, story-wise, does not give Miranda any, like, leg up.
No, she doesn't have to be sneaky. I don't know. Yeah, I have mixed feelings on it.
Or, like, you can be sneaky, but don't be that mean to your kid.
Yeah. Yeah. She's very, like, bitter. I don't know. And then even, like, her friends are like, what are you doing? And Carrie's like, I don't even know you. Like, who are you? What's going on? Like, oh. Yeah. Anyway, she's having a wild time.
She is, but I get the Che. Che can sweep you up.
Yeah.
You just probably shouldn't hook up with Che while your best friend is getting over hip surgery and having to pee in a Snapple bottle.
Yeah, not cool.
Not cool, bro.
Oh, yeah, there's a time and a place. That was not it.
Not it. But probably one of the most memorable scenes in And Just Like That.
Yeah, I guess it does. It is entertaining. Like, it goes back to that idea of being messy. And I don't know. She's kind of the messiest right now.
I love that. It's so random.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm used to, like, seeing either Carrie with the big, like, the huge storyline or even a Samantha. And because there's no Samantha and Carrie, it's like, I don't know, they give her kind of a boring one. because she's grieving.
Right. Yeah, it's really toned down.
This is like the Miranda show.
Kind of is, yeah.
Which, go Cynthia Nixon. Get that coin.
Yeah, get that coin. Oh. Well, I'm curious to see how Samantha's going to come back, because I read that she's going to have a cameo, but it's only for one episode. And I don't know, will we even get to see her? Because I heard she's going to be on the phone.
I hope we get to see her. Like, I hope it's a FaceTime or something.
Yeah.
I hope Kim Cattrall gets a hefty sum.
I hope she gets that coin.
Because she really does make the show. Samantha is my favorite. I love Carrie fashion-wise. I love that she's an anti-hero. But yeah, Samantha, I want to see that as much as possible. But I also I want Kim Cattrall as an actor to get what she deserves. I'm sure she is.
I agree. And it kind of hurts me that there is any hidden, I don't know if it's animosity or just like hurt feelings. Like, it makes me think of like the Golden Girls. You know how there was like, it kind of spoils some of that like magic when like B. Arthur was like kind of hard to work with. Like, they didn't all get along like on the show. You know what I mean? Like things like that. You're just like, So I hope they work out whatever and things are maybe more evened out, because I don't know what their beef is exactly. Like, I know a bit of it, but I don't know how true. You know what I mean? Like, we're not them. We're not in their inside circle.
No, definitely not. But yeah, I hope, I wouldn't mind Samantha not being in and just like that. I think like the way they keep it so open, like I didn't really like it in season 1 how there is that like tease. Well, for one, Samantha as a friend, as a character, would not just like leave Carrie as a friend just because she won't work with her as like her PR.
Yeah, no.
Like her publicist. But I think like the way that like they're texting back and forth is very cheap.
It is, and you're right. It does kind of flip it on like Samantha's being the one that's not, which maybe is true to some degree. Like in real life, Kim Cattrall is probably not completely on board. But there might be a reason, like you can't, like there's things where, like from a character standpoint, like if Carrie's like, oh, I miss you, and there's no response, like it's like, why would Samantha, who has like such a big heart, maybe she's busy, yes, and she's in Paris or whatever, but like it's very abrupt because, Kim Cattrall does do the second movie, right?
But they do her dirty, like they really up the, like the sex, but they also like on the movie poster for Sex and the City 2, I don't know if you've seen it recently, but the terrible Photoshop job on Kim Cattrall is like blasphemous.
Seriously?
Yeah, look that up.
I see. She looks like Rachel McAdams. Is it because she's a little bit older?
I don't know. They like fucked up her face Photoshop wise.
Yeah, that doesn't. Something with her. Well, you know what? Carrie, too, doesn't look quite right. I do see what you're saying, though. Her, even more so, she looks not quite like the same person. But it's like too softened or too... Like, there's no... Not that you'd have to necessarily have eye bags, but it's like her face has no dimension. I swear, she just looks like Rachel McAdams. Right?
A little bit. But it doesn't even look like Kim Cattrall anymore.
That's my point. It's like, who is that? Who is she?
Yeah, I just feel like they just... I don't know. I feel like they kind of diluted Samantha into a caricature, and in the series, she's not at all.
See, yeah, I haven't seen that second... I'm like trying to...
We saw it in the movie theater.
I haven't seen it in so long, though. I'd have to rewatch and see like the transformation, because it just doesn't make sense to me how they jump from like Samantha being such a core character to like, oh, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make... I guess if they completely take her out, it's like really depressing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that is better or worse than having those lame texts.
I know, but I'm excited to see Aiden return.
Yes.
I'm excited to see Carrie. Like, I want Carrie to be the main character.
Me too. I really am ready for her to be the main character. Because you're right. It's been a lot about Miranda. I'm annoyed with her. She can go, I'm curious to see what's going to go on. Like, I know Steve I know she's like done with Steve, but I love how he's also just like, he's like, I'm gonna hold a candle for her, basically. And like Carrie's like, girl, don't.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy how by the end of And Just Like That, it's like for the characters, like when they have that after like they're painting on the stoop and Carrie's like, no. But it's so crazy how as an audience member, we're so much like, Steve, don't do it.
Don't. Yeah. She's like, you gotta think about you.
Yeah, so
maybe we'll see Steve find love.
I want Steve to find love.
Or maybe Miranda will come to her senses. Maybe.
No, Miranda's hurt Steve too much.
Yeah.
Justice for Steve.
Good point.
Aw. Can we pivot really quick?
Yeah.
And just like that, this episode is wrapping up. But before we wrap up, we gotta talk a little more about the fashion. What are your favorite Sex in the City fits?
Okay. I know there's that one episode where, you know, Carrie wears the aquarium dress. Iconic.
One of my favorites.
I love whatever Miranda's wearing as well. Those orange pants.
It's very like Lilith Fair.
Yes.
Meets like I'm at the World Market. Eat, Pray, Love edition.
Yes. I like just in general, like throughout the whole series, or like and just like that, like anything. Okay. The Vivian Westwood gown,
the wedding gown
in
Sex and the City movie.
Yes, but also that other dress. Oh gosh, hold on. There's a dress that she wears where she sits in the window, and it's like kind of like a gray, like it's a mauve. I don't know how to.
Is it Dior?
Is
It's
it
like
Dior?
the feathery. I know which one you're talking about. It's very iconic. It's like right before she goes to Paris, right?
Yes.
Yep. I know which one you're talking about.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
I also love. So in And Just Like That, I have a couple favorite looks.
Lay it on me.
There's one outfit where she has it's when she, you know, the realtor comes over and kind of does like a walkthrough in her apartment. It's like, well, this is what we should do here. Like, we should probably put a Peloton here, even though, you know, I just thought that was funny. She's like, no, but she didn't explain why. But anyway, Carrie has like this multicolored striped dress, and she has like a jacket over top, and then she has like these purple aviator glasses.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's like she has this oversized kind of like it's not really gingham, but it's like a checkered like rainbow
plaid?
checkered, like a plaid jacket, and she has this like not a saddlebag exactly, but it's like a crossbody. I don't know. I just really like this style, and like her glasses really take it over the top because they're like aviator glasses, and I just think it looks so cool. They're like purple shades.
I like it.
And I love her Inspector Gadget look, which is like
Yes.
when she's dress shopping with her new friend, which I can't think of what her name is, but it's
Not Seema?
oh yes, it is Seema. Yes,
I like Seema.
I like her too. Yeah, they really do try to make her like Samantha, don't they?
She's like the stand-in for Samantha,
Yeah,
which I like it. I like her storyline.
she does have a good one. What else?
I love like the smoking outside like babushka like outfit.
The babushka. I love that too. Yeah, I feel like she has some interesting looks. I don't know.
I feel like SJP and Just Like That has a very like interesting style. It's a little like it's just so different from the series.
Yeah, it's like Carrie's kind of like maybe loosened up a bit, or like like she's not. I don't know, but she's fashionable without trying too hard to be.
For sure. I love the color. Like she really plays with color in this one.
She does. Do you have any favorites?
I love Miranda. It's season 2, episode 1, where she has the overalls, like the monochromatic overalls with the puffer jacket.
Yes.
And, like the hat. I love that. I love Samantha's gingham set. when they're on the rooftop having that like cookout. It's season 3, episode 15. It's like where she has like the pigtails and like the gingham top and bottom. I love Charlotte wears like a Betsy Johnson-esque maxi like lingerie piece that I really love.
Ooh.
And that's in season 3, episode 16. I love straight hair Carrie. She goes to a party with Big in season 2, and I love her.
Oh, do you have a picture?
Yes, I do. She is wearing Jean Paul Gaultier, and I love it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we don't see her with straight hair too much.
No, I love straight hair Carrie though. That's peak.
I just remembered an outfit. Mm-hmm. The one where she wears the cowboy hat.
That's one of my faves.
That, you know, the one.
The pink cowboy hat when she goes to the Hamptons?
Yes, when she goes to the Hamptons. I don't know. I love it. I love the, like, bralette situation or whatever you call it.
It's like a snakeskin bandeau. The, like, stripy sarong. Mm-hmm. Pink cowboy hat. I love it. It's when she goes to the Hamptons and she runs into Big and Natasha for the first time. Speaking of Hamptons looks, too, I love On the Beach during that episode, which is called the 20-something girls versus the 30-something women.
Yes.
Carrie Bradshaw is serving, again, tinted sunglasses, this time rose-colored, but she looks like PacSun chic. She has like men's board shorts that look like Auto Rocket from Rocket Power, just on the beach. I think it's super chic.
Love it.
I also love, I don't have any deets on this outfit, like designer wise, but this is one of my favorite Carrie looks.
Ooh, it's nice. Is she wearing gauchos?
I think it's a maxi skirt.
Is it?
But it's a floral black and white maxi skirt paired with like a white flowered trench. I love it. I couldn't find a picture of it, but I love that horse dress she wears.
Yes.
One of the later seasons. It's in the series still. I love that when she rocks the horse capri pants from the 2001 Stella McCartney horse girl collection.
I know what you're talking about. I love that too.
I guess it's Chloe, but designed by Stella McCartney. I digress, but I love it. And yeah, I feel like the newspaper dress is also very iconic.
Yes, the newspaper dress,
which is Galliano. I feel like Carrie Bradshaw's style in the first Sex and the City movie is so iconic and like so good that it's everything you want, like when you see your series on the big screen, at least costume wise.
And when she dyes her hair brown,
it's a mood.
It's a mood.
She decides to wear like knee-high Argyle socks. It is also a vibe.
I love that.
I do too. It really influenced my early high school days a little too much.
That makes so much sense. I love it.
But any other faves, any other thoughts on Sex and the City and just like that?
I would just say I really enjoy Sex and the City as a whole. Like, and I think it's awesome that we're still getting more stuff, like new stuff. I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of nice. It's familiar, you know, even if it's
such a comfort show.
Yeah. It's just something you can kind of relax and watch. It's not anything too serious. And I love the fashion of it. Even if in just like that's a little different. Because I do notice like the same. It's not Patricia Field.
No, it's Molly Roger.
And did she work with her, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fashion's still pretty good. It's interesting. I'll always have a place in my heart for just the original series in general, I think. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoy Sex and the City. And the movies aren't that bad. They kind of are their own thing a bit, but
I'll take Sex and the City any way I can get it.
Any way I can get it. I totally agree.
I think it's a testament to how amazing the show and its characters, and like thank you for creating it, Darren Star, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Because I think it is, like you said, like a comfort show. And it taught me so much about fashion and relationships and friendship. And I love seeing it time and time again. I love watching the movies.
Yeah.
And I love watching it just like that, even though I'm not like hate watching it, but it's like not really what I would want. But I'm going to eat anything up.
I totally get it.
Sex and the City. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that they are still friends. Like, it's because that's kind of a core of the show, is their friendship. And
For sure.
I don't know. It's cool just to see the gals experience life together and then talk about it and have great fits in the process.
Hopefully, and just like that, season 2 has more sex.
Yeah.
More sex, more city, more fashion.
More Carrie. She has her own podcast now.
Yeah. I hope she spins off from Che. What was it? You and me and X, Y, and me.
Oh, okay.
I hope Carrie Bradshaw in this one has like Sex and the City, the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, do we even know what it's called? I don't remember. It was like the very last episode of the series, I think.
Yeah. And I'm ready for Aiden 3.0.
Yes, I'm really excited for Aiden.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Please rate, review, and subscribe if you are on YouTube. Or just rate and review on iTunes. How about that?
We'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know your favorite Sex and the City eps.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.